Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating medical mystery, one that affects almost every single one of us. We're going to be looking at a hidden biological process. It's this thing operating completely behind the scenes, impacting our daily energy levels, and honestly, dictating our long-term health. If you've ever found yourself wondering why your body just doesn't bounce back the way it used to, well, you are in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Are you in your 40s or 50s and finding that your fatigue just won't go away? You know, that deep tiredness? Or maybe you get overwhelmingly drowsy right after eating a meal? Perhaps your cholesterol or blood sugar numbers on your latest health check weren't looking so great, or you caught a glimpse in the mirror recently and thought, I look a bit older than I should. Well, recent research reveals these aren't just random isolated issues. They actually all point back to one central common cause.
So, what exactly is this hidden culprit operating behind the scenes? Let's move right into part one, the root cause of aging. We're talking about a process called glycation. Basically, this happens when the blood sugar in your system literally binds together with the proteins that make up your body. When this unnatural binding occurs, it generates something called AGEs, which stands for Advanced Glycation End Products. Now, in the medical world, AGEs are highly scrutinized, and for good reason. They are essentially toxic, aging-causing substances that accumulate and just quietly damage your body over time. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. Think about cooking a pancake, right? The sugars and amino acids in the batter react to the heat, turning the surface that nice, crispy brown. In the culinary world, that's known as the Maillard reaction. But here is the shocking part. That exact same browning process is happening to the proteins inside your body right now. The blood sugar flowing through your veins is reacting with your muscles, your organs, your blood vessels, and your bones. It's effectively browning and damaging your internal structures from the inside out. Which brings us to part two, how glycation destroys the body. Because blood sugar travels literally everywhere, this isn't just about wrinkles. This is a total body health crisis. When we look at the systemic impact, it is honestly staggering. Let's start with your blood vessels. When AGEs attack the cells inside them, the vessels stiffen up, leading to arteriosclerosis, which heavily raises the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Moving down to the kidneys, AGEs actually destroy the proteins responsible for filtering waste, slowly deteriorating your kidney function. In your bones, glycation hardens the collagen. It essentially strips away the bone's natural shock-absorbing cushion, making fractures far more likely if you take a fall. And finally, the brain. Research shows that the plaques found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients are absolutely loaded with these toxic AGEs. But wait, it gets worse. Glycation doesn't work alone. It has a devastating little accomplice called aldehydes. When your blood sugar spikes, aldehydes spike right along with it, and they do two terrible things. First, they massively accelerate the creation of AGEs, basically putting the aging process into overdrive. Second, they directly attack your blood vessels, triggering cell death or apoptosis. And get this, it's not just food that causes this. Alcohol releases acetaldehyde, the chemical that gives you hangovers, and that drives glycation too. Even mental stress triggers your sympathetic nervous system, raising your blood sugar and releasing more aldehydes. So, how do we stop these massive blood sugar spikes in the first place? Well, the answer lies in part three, gut health and blood sugar. Turns out, a poor intestinal environment is a fast track to glycation. When your gut health deteriorates, tiny little gaps actually form in the intestinal lining. You might have heard of this. It's a condition known as leaky gut. This allows substances that should be naturally expelled to leak directly into your bloodstream. And what does that do? It creates widespread, low-grade inflammation all throughout your body. Here is the absolute key connection. When your body is inflamed, your blood sugar becomes incredibly volatile, making glycation happen so much faster. Now, this volatility is heavily influenced by our daily habits. I know a lot of busy people in their 40s and 50s just skip breakfast altogether, but fasting for too long forces your body into starvation mode. So when you finally sit down to eat lunch, your body violently and rapidly absorbs all that sugar, causing a massive explosive blood sugar spike. Contrast that with eating just a little something in the morning. Breaking that fast stabilizes your absorption rate at lunch, protecting you from that really dangerous spike. So the crucial point here is that the goal isn't to rigidly give up all your carbs. The goal is to stop the spikes. Let's look at part four, the ultimate anti-glycation diet. The secret really lies in the sequence of how you eat. Step one, eat your soups, proteins, and fats first. Step two, eat your carbohydrates absolutely last.
Think of a traditional Japanese kaiseki meal. It's this ancient, brilliant dining sequence where a tiny bowl of white rice is served at the very end of the course. Eating protein first slows down your digestion, meaning the sugar from your carbs is absorbed much more gradually into your bloodstream. And that brings us to the ultimate dietary weapon. We'll call this the golden formula: carbs plus protein plus fat plus acid. Research confirms that combining your carbohydrates with a protein, a fat, and an acid, something like vinegar or citric acid, heavily suppresses sugar spikes. Think about it. Protein takes longer to digest, fat slows stomach emptying, and the acid actively regulates the sugar absorption. It's a perfect defense.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how surprisingly easy it is to apply to meals you already love. Squeezing a bit of lemon over karaage or fried chicken, that is a mathematically perfect combination of protein, fat from the oil, and citric acid from the lemon. Sushi, you've got fish protein paired with vinegared rice. What about eating a salad before your main course? Don't just eat it plain. Using an olive oil and vinegar dressing is scientifically proven to suppress your blood sugar more effectively than eating plain vegetables alone. Even dipping Italian bread in olive oil and balsamic vinegar perfectly utilizes fat and acid to slow down that carb absorption.
To really lock in these benefits, there are 2 final daily habits you can add to your routine right away. First up, incorporate fermented foods. Things like miso and vinegar are absolutely packed with organic acids, like acetic acid, lactic acid, and citric acid, which not only improve your gut health, but actively regulate blood sugar. Second, try to get some light exercise, maybe 30 to 60 minutes after eating. A simple post-meal walk utilizes the sugar floating in your blood before it even has a chance to bind to your proteins and cause glycation.
Look, glycation isn't just a problem for people with diabetes. It's a daily, ongoing process affecting absolutely all of us. But as we've seen today, slowing down aging and fatigue doesn't require extreme, miserable restrictions. It just requires a little bit of strategy. So I'll leave you with this. What small change will you make at your next meal to protect your 10-year future? Will you squeeze a lemon on your protein, maybe change the order of your food, or just take a quick walk? The choice is entirely yours, and I promise you, your future body will thank you. Thanks so much for joining us on this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.